Hello everyone. Today I want to discuss about Kennedy classification from prosthodontics. So this is a very important topic for the exam. So I don't want to talk in detail about all these classifications or RPDs, advantages or disadvantages. Only usually they ask about the Kennedy classification and using Applegate's rules, the modification also. So, in this, I will just explain how to understand which Kennedy classification and the modification because usually this question is very common in the exam. So, there are basically important four classifications are there: class 1, class 2, class 3, and class 4. Class 1 is that bilateral edentulous regions are located posterior to the remaining teeth. That means in this you can see here in both areas, bilateral edentulous area is present on where on both sides, posterior to the remaining teeth. So it means at the end there will be no teeth and it will be bilateral. Okay, so this is class 1. Now coming to class 2, it is the same like class 1, but there is only unilateral edentulous space posterior to the remaining teeth. So you can see in this area, even the posterior area, there are no teeth missing, and only in unilateral area you should understand unilateral is class 2. So unilateral edentulous area posterior to remaining teeth. So here teeth is there premolar, and after that unilateral edentulous area. So that is class 2. So you should remember this: class 2 is unilateral edentulous region. Now coming to the third third one. Third one is unilateral edentulous region bounded anteriorly and posteriorly by natural teeth. So here there is only one edentulous area. You can see that this is the edentulous area and bounded anteriorly and posteriorly by natural teeth. So when there is teeth anterior and posterior to the edentulous area, it is class 3. Now coming to class 4, it is a single bilateral edentulous region anterior to the remaining teeth crossing the midline. Here you should understand the important points in this classification because it should be single. It is bilateral edentulous region anterior and it should cross the midline. So here you can see the anteriors are missing. So it is single, and see this, if we are dividing this, it is bilateral. This side on this side, crossing the midline. So this is class 4. Now coming to Appligate's rules. There are 8 rules. First one is classification should follow rather than precede any extraction of the teeth that might alter the original classification. So this means if there are any mobile teeth or any loose teeth or teeth with poor prognosis that we have already planned for extraction, so the classification should follow. So after the extraction only we should consider the classification so that it won't affect the type of the RPD or class that we are going to design for a particular case. So after, or it should follow the classification should follow rather than precede in extraction. That is the first rule. Coming to second rule, if a third molar is missing and is not to be replaced, it is not considered in the classification. So just consider uh, second molar is present, first molar is present, but third molar is missing. And if it is missing and we are not going to replace it, then we should not consider it for a classification. Then coming to the third rule, if third molar is present and is to be used as an abutment, then it is considered in the classification. That I'll show you. So just consider this is the arch. My drawing is very bad. And this is the third molar. Consider this as the third molar. And first molar is present, second molar is absent. Second molar is absent. So we are planning to replace this second molar, and this third molar is strong. It can be used as an abutment. So we are planning to use it in abutment. Then this should be considered in our classification. This is rule 3. Coming to rule 4, if a second molar is missing and not to be replaced, it is not considered in the classification. Now one other example, if this is the arch and till this is first molar. Think this is okay, this is the arch. Till first molar is present. This is the first molar. Sorry. This is the first molar, and we are not planning to replace the second molar or third molar in this. If we are not planning to replace, then we should not consider it in the classification. For example, if the opposite teeth in the opposite arch teeth is also missing, second molar is missing, then maybe we won't replace it in our RPD. So if it is, it's like a common sense. If second molar is missing and if we are not planning to replace it, then why we should consider it in the classification? So it is not considered in the classification. So fifth rule, the most posterior edentulous area always determine the classification. This is very important because based on this, we are able to classify and understand the modifications. Okay, so consider arch. Okay, and here it is, first molar is there, here tooth is missing, think here it is missing, second molar, third molar, everything is missing, and here also tooth is missing, it's not there, here also it's not there, and here rest teeth are all present, so all present. So here also one space is there, here also one space is there, but to determine the classification, the most posterior edentulous area is considered. That means this last missing should be considered. So this, if unilateral edentulous area, what is the classification? It is class 2. Okay. So you should understand most posterior edentulous area determines the classification. Now coming to the sixth rule, edentulous area other than those determining the classification are referred to as modification. Okay, so just like the previous, I will explain this the previous example. So what is this? The other than the classification edentulous area, others are considered as modifications. So in the, I will just explain the previous. So we have already told here the teeth is missing, first molar is present, and here premolar is missing. Here rest all teeth are present, all teeth are present. So in this, the classification, since it is unilateral edentulous area, classification is class 2, and there is space. So these spaces are considered as modification, and depending upon the number of spaces, not the number of missing teeth, depending upon the number of spaces, will calculate the what modification. So here it is class 2 modification 1, since there is only one edentulous area, that I'll explain later also. So the sixth rule is edentulous area other than those determine the classification are modifications. Now coming to rule 7, the extent of modification is not considered. Only the number of additional edentulous area is considered. That means the most posterior area will determine the classification. And after that we told the anterior spaces, number of edentulous area. You should understand number. The number of edentulous area is the modification. It is the extent, that is how many teeth are missing, is it one teeth or two teeth or three teeth, that is not considered. Only the number of edentulous area is considered as classification, other than the sorry sorry. So what I told is that the extent of the modification is not considered, whether it is one tooth missing or two teeth missing or three teeth missing in one edentulous area. This all are considered as only one modification. Okay, whether it is 5 teeth missing, then also if it is other than classification, then it is one, only modification 1. Understood? Then coming to rule 8, there are no modification area for class 4, because the most posterior area, like I already told, the most posterior area determines the classification. In class 4, it is bilateral edentulous most anterior portion. So there will be no further modification. If there are any edentulous area posterior, then that will determine the classification. So